What would it be like to be a founder and CEO of a tech-based startup within the sector of agriculture? Yeah, you don't often hear stories related to those two worlds colliding. Well, that's exactly what I have for you today on this episode of Life as a. I've got this great guest lined up. Her name is Rassarin Chinnachodteeranun, and she's a former agricultural researcher who did a lot of her work and studies in Japan. She actually got her Ph.D. within that sector within Japan. And she found a gap in the market, and that led her to starting her business, which she now operates both in Japan and in her home country of Thailand. So this episode represents a lot. We're going to dive into her life associated with the work and, of course, her business, what it's all about, some of the rewards, some of the challenges, all of it. And, as always, I do encourage you to check out the full-length audio version of the talk. There's so much more that I just can't jam into these videos. Beyond that, I do encourage you hit that like or subscribe button. It would help way more than you can know. All right, well, why don't we get into that? All right, well, first up, I do think it would make sense for you to get a better handle on what this company does and what they're all about. The name of the company itself is called Listenfield, and the premise is helping farmers better understand the needs of their crops, better understand the needs of the soil within their fields. And how do they do this? Well, Listenfield provides this multidisciplinary approach using different forms of technology to analyze. For example, they use satellite imagery. They also use data, sensory analytics, and agronomic prediction. But I think it would probably make sense for Rassarin to better explain what our company is all about. So here's a clip of that.
We utilize technology to help to answer the question in agriculture. We use technology as a tool to provide engine so that farmers and stakeholders can manage their farm in effective way. And we use the technology to help farmers and stakeholders to reduce their operational cost, improve productivity, and also become more friendly to environment. And from this, then we provide information from soil to harvest. From soil mean we provide or we help our farmers and stakeholders to listen to soil. So listen to soil to understand that what kind of nutrition that is available in soil, what kind of nutrition that need, so that they can plant crop that can be more productive. And then during a growing season, then we provide health monitoring, crop health monitoring by utilizing satellites and remote sensing to help our farmers understand the health of their crop. It's like we provide X-ray image for every 5 days to understand the health of their crop, understand what kind of nutrition that their crop need, what kind of water, how much water that their crop need, and we provide analytic engine to help farmers to understand that based on this climate uncertainty or climate for the coming season, how much yield that they can expect or how much risk to lose their crop that they might need to prepare. So this kind of information that we provide, and also based on this is like the farm management tools that we provide so that we can upgrade farmer to become a professional farmer that can be profitable.
All right, well, next up, I do want to get into this notion of agtech or agrotech. Basically, it's just agriculture plus technology. And there was this discovery in the conversation that kind of just hit me in a funny way, and it made sense once I heard it, but it wasn't something that I would have naturally expected. And it has to do with, again, these two worlds of technology being fast-paced, change is inherent, and then also agriculture. It goes at a slower pace, and what that is like managing these two worlds. So here's a clip of Rassarin speaking about that point.
People who be involved with agtech, somewhat they have to have strong motivation As for agriculture, it cannot be something that go quick, or it cannot be something that grows as e-commerce. It's something that stay with people, interact with people, involve with nature, and need time to change. Even we talk about technology that go fast, but when talk about agriculture, it's something that go slowly, go with a cycle, go with the season.
Yeah, I found that last clip to be particularly poignant. Well, there's something else related to ag tech that I do want to share with you, and it involves why it's important moving forward, why we have to be investing in this, and why we need companies like Listenfield building services within this sector.
For agriculture technology, one thing that we can also do is that to use technology to reduce cost, operational cost in farming. And another important point right now is that technology can also be a part of sustainability. So optimize the resources used so that we can be more sustained and be friendly to our planet as well.
Now, I don't know about you, but I find this business offering to be absolutely fascinating. And it kind of blows my mind in the sense that, like, you would assume that customers would instantly take up this sort of offering, right? It just makes too much sense. Well, of course, that's not the world that we operate within, and especially within business. There are inherent challenges. And within agrotech, there certainly are some challenges there. So here's a clip of Rassarin explaining some of the challenges that she faces.
Doing this for their whole life. But when we ask to change, it not that easy. And especially for technology and data that we provide, we offer, is really need time to prove that okay, this is better than the conventional style that they have been working for their whole life. Second challenge is that in agriculture, what we call is like it have been analog.
Yeah.
Analog mean that anyway, when we talk about technology, digital technology, AI, they need a lot of data. But the industry that have been analog for like a long time, then data is very important. But this also a challenge that we also have to try to correct data at the same time as building technology. So this is also another challenge.
Well, I have one more clip that I want to show you, and it kind of continues on from the previous point about, entrepreneurs not falling too deeply in love with their own service offering. You really, truly have to understand the needs of the consumer. So here's a clip of Rassarin explaining this.
At the beginning, actually, when we expand the business to Thailand, we kind of jump into like working directly with farmers. But one thing that we realize is that it might not be the right relationship yet. As for farmer, anyway, they still need to have like human relationship. That's why we pivot our business to be like, okay, we have to work with a corporate, or we have to work with agribusinesses that have relationship with farmers, and then utilize technology, and at the same time make technology become more mature, that it can be easy to adopt for farmers.
Yeah, that's a really good point, I think. And that's one that I think bewilders a lot of people who might, have a tech startup or entertaining the notion of starting one and thinking that, well, this offering just makes too much sense for a customer or potential customer to say no to, and your enthusiasm for the product or service can sometimes get in the way of some of these just market dynamics, like, something like this, where yes, it makes complete sense for these people to adopt it. But if the feeling isn't there, you're going up against these issues of traditions and all these other things that are powerful influencers of, decision-making processes, it can really stymie or prevent a business from growing. And I think it's a really valid point that I think as someone who is entertaining this notion of getting into, any type of business, you have to really, that's why market research obviously is quite important, and speaking with people, as you said, communicating with people and really truly understanding their needs, their fears, rational or irrational, to better understand how you can position or strategically go about, positioning your company for success. And I think that's a really valuable lesson. I'm really glad that you brought that up there.
Okay, well, I think we are drawing to a close here, but as always, I do encourage you to check out the full-length audio version. There's so much more way of insight. We get a deeper look at Rassarin's backstory. We also look at, her business itself and how AI is involved and how that's really shifting and changing things around. So there's so much more contained within the full talk. I do encourage you to check it out. You can do so wherever you access your podcast. Just do that search for Life as a ... And again, as always, I would encourage you to like or subscribe. I think it's the best way to kind of get this content out. It allows the YouTube algorithm to know that this content matters. So yeah, like or subscribe, would really, really appreciate it. And finally, please tune in to the next episode of Life as a, where we'll have another guest, another business featured. You can kind of get a better feel and see whether or not this could be for you. All right, well, I'll see you then.